on the indwelling sin, hamatia. We saw it in a Greek word, and we have journeyed through the objectives documented in the book of Daniel, particularly chapter 9, verse number 24, and we saw the 6 objectives. We have already covered the first objective, which was to finish our transgression. We are now at the second objective, which was to make an end of sins, and we saw that there were ways through which Jesus was able to fulfill this objective. And number one that we saw was that he delivered us from the law. We were able to extensively look at that. We also looked at the second point. He gave us his spirit, the Holy Spirit who indwells men. You will notice that under the old dispensation, the Holy Spirit did not indwell men. But today, under the new covenant, the Spirit of God, the Spirit of Christ, indwells men. So he gave us his spirit. Point number 3 was that he gave us his life. We have the life of God, which is the light of men. So he gave us his life. And where that light is, of course, sin cannot be there. And the fourth point that we saw was that his seed is in us. And we were able to see that the seed of God is the word of God. So we looked at that at length. So today we are looking at the last point under this objective, and that is point number 5. He has given us his grace. He has given us his grace. Sorry, I have a cold, but I think we'll be able to continue. Now, we have heard about grace. We have learned, we have attended classes, it has been preached to us, and I know it's not something that is new. But I want us to look at it a little bit different with regard to this particular objective. Now, grace is the unlimited favor of God or the love of God. Unlimited. The word is unlimited. Favor or love of God. It is the favor of God which is shown to the undeserving. The undeserving. You cannot claim it. You cannot say you deserved it. It is given freely. Okay? And so you cannot claim that because you have done this, then this should be able to be done to you. It is purely the favor of God which is shown to the undeserving. We can also say it is God's infinite mercy to the world. Infinite, endless mercy to the world. He has extended his infinite mercy to undeserving world. And so grace cannot be earned. It is freely given. I find it very interesting when I see people quoting the prayer of King Hezekiah when the word from the Lord through prophet Isaiah came to him, and he was told that put your house in order because you are going to die. And then the Bible records that he turned himself to the wall and he prayed and he asked God, I have walked in truth, I have done what is good, and all that. And so God was able to add him 15 years. He was quoting things that he has done. I've done this, and therefore I think you can reconsider your position, God. But you see, under grace, you cannot claim anything. You cannot go and tell God, God, I've done this, I have given that, and therefore now I I deserve this and that. Grace is freely earned. It's given, or rather is freely given. You cannot claim it. Now, let's start off with the 1 John chapter 1, verse 16 and 17. We start off from there. I hope you can display. 1 John, it's John, actually the book of John, the book of John chapter 1, verse 16 and 17. You're able to project? John 1, 16. I think we know this verse very well. John 1, 16. It says that, and of his fullness we have all received grace for grace. Of his fullness we have all received grace for grace. Now, grace for grace basically means much grace. We are talking about abundance grace or favor. It means favor that is superior to all that had been under the law. This is way above. It's superior. Okay? Verse 17 says, for the law was given through Moses, but grace and truth came through Jesus Christ. Grace and truth that came through Jesus Christ far exceeded anything in the old dispensation. Okay? The law, of course, we know the law was the institution under which the Jews lived, was given through Moses. But this was a system of law and burdensome rituals or rites which had no capacity to take away sin. Okay? But now Jesus comes with another system of grace. We are going to look at that. Just look at the law, the system of the law and the burdensome rites that were insufficient or unable to take away sin. You can just look at Hebrews chapter 10, verse 1 to 4. Quickly, we just to expound on that point. Hebrews 10, read 1 to 4. The Bible records that for the law, having a shadow of the very image, having a shadow of the good things to come, and not the very image of the things, can never, with the same sacrifices which they offer continually year after year, make those who approach perfect. We are looking at the insufficiency of the law and its associated sacrifices in the face of sin. They were not